So it looks like we're getting a new Marvel Legends Franklin Richards and Valeria Richards 2-pack, as well as a Guardians of the Galaxy Yondu, and we're also getting a Squadron Supreme 2-pack with Dr Spectrum and Hyperion. But are these new reveals any good, soulmates, and are they worth your money? Be sure you stick around until the end, guys, because we're going to talk about what characters from all these teams we would like to see next.
If you support what I do, please click subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single video of mine when it comes out.
The first action figures we're going to look at today, soulmates, are Franklin and Valeria Richards. In case you don't know who these characters are, they are the children of Sue Storm and Reed Richards. And these are the versions of the characters presented as teenagers. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of reuse across both action figures, and most notably we see that Franklin uses the Amazing Fantasy body, while Valeria Richards uses a fairly old-looking women's body. This one still features pins, much to my surprise, and also single-jointed elbows, and well, I really thought that we were going to be phasing those out by now, and they just keep bringing these back. And speaking of reuse, well, these accessories have really been making the rounds recently, haven't they? I noticed that she comes with the electronic looking pad, the translucent blue pad that we saw with the AIM Scientist Supreme. We see that Turg, the other character that's also featured in this 2-pack, the disembodied Moloid head, is using a base that we saw with Ant-Man's head from the Howard the Duck release. We're also seeing a couple of beakers that we've seen with both Beast and the Lizard, and we're also seeing some special effects that, oddly enough, were featured with, I believe, Jigsaw. We're also seeing a stand that was included with the Nova action figure, and well, there's not too much to say about that stand. That's what Turg goes on, and obviously it's not something you need to reinvent the wheel on. Besides all those accessories, they come with the boilerplate stuff, i.e., a set of extra hands. Valeria comes with 2 sets of extra hands. Franklin comes with 1 set of extra hands. Much to my surprise, this one is being sold at a price point of $50, which is pretty much the price of 2 standard release Marvel Legends action figures. And that's fine, I guess. This one isn't really one that I think a lot of people are going to be rushing out to get. Certainly, I'm not all that interested in it personally. When I think of Fantastic Four characters, Franklin Richards and Valeria Richards aren't really 2 characters that make me jump for joy, so it's cool to see them, I'll say that, but as far as Fantastic Four characters that I would really love to see, I'd rather see a new villain released, or else I'd rather see a new set of standard Fantastic Four action figures, because I thought that the team that we got in the last retro card wave wasn't the best version of the Fantastic Four we could have gotten. I will say, for $50, all the reuse and recycling of accessories and parts and stuff that we see on this one makes it seem like a bit much, because, you know, you can spend $50 on something else and get something a little bit more unique for your money. Also noteworthy about this one is that it's going to be a fan channel exclusive, and if you happen to be new and you don't know what a fan channel exclusive means, that just means that it's going to be available at specialty collectible stores like Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, GameStop, and also it's going to be available on Hasbro's own website. Yondu from the Guardians of the Galaxy is not yet up for pre-order, and he is going to be a Target exclusive, which a lot of people are bothered by because some people do have trouble getting Target exclusives. I haven't really had that problem because I think it's a lot easier to get exclusives from Target than from other stores, but you know, your mileage may vary as always. How does he fare though? Well, he's fairly accurate to one of the versions of Yondu that we see from the comic books, thankfully. And he's got a few textural elements that they've added to this reused body that make him look a little bit more accurate. And in case you're wondering what body he's using, what's going on here is that they're reusing the Sunfire body again, that's why he's got the pin joints, and then they're also reusing the boots from the Age of Apocalypse Morph action figure. which seemed to me a strange choice because if it had been left up to me, I would have gone with Captain America's boots because I think they look a lot more accurate to what Yondu actually wears versus what Morph was wearing in Age of Apocalypse. But despite that, it's still accurate to what we see from the comic books. Now, I do notice that there's some paint apps in lieu of actual details on this action figure because, you know, they are reusing the Sunfire body here, like the gold designs that go across the one side of his body over all the red. Obviously, those gold designs would make for some fantastic relief elements, and the fact that they're kind of just skipping that little bit of texture that they could have had on this action figure is a little bit of a bummer. It's always nice to have just a little bit of texture wherever you can find it on these. Obviously, it's a good thing they got the texture on the armband and the gauntlet as well as the bandolier and the belt, but any opportunity you can take to help differentiate one of these Marvel Legends from other Marvel Legends so they don't all look like the same action figure is a good thing. Something that one of my viewers noticed about Yondu is that the fin on top of his head is a little misshapen, and it doesn't exactly meet flush against his head. So the craftsmanship might not be super good on this one. And it's kind of too bad that we have the windowless packaging because we can't really check on how the fin looks before we buy this action figure now. Part of me kind of wonders why they didn't use the Vulcan body for this one, but then I think to myself, well, if they used the Vulcan body for him and they kept on using it for other characters, then we just keep seeing the Vulcan body again and again and again, and every Marvel Legend would be Vulcan. Much to my surprise, Yondu is going to be standard price, and that's $25. Whether or not that's worth it to you, well, you have to decide how bad you want Yondu. The third reveal we're going to look at today, Soulmates, is the Squadron Supreme Hyperion and Dr Spectrum 2-pack. This one I thought was okay. Hyperion looks pretty okay, I think. He's got some neat stuff on him, like I think that the weird kind of belt he has covering the lower part of his torso looks cool, and it's nice that he has a torso rocker, by the way, that's pretty cool. Also, his cape looks good. It does strike me as odd that he has pinless legs and pinned joints, while Dr. Spectrum has pinless arms and pin joints. I wonder why they coordinated it like that. Maybe they just did it to make it look like they weren't reusing so much. And, well, it doesn't really work on Dr. Spectrum because it's very obvious that they're using Bucky Cap for the majority of him. And we really can't get away from this mold, can we? Every time we think we've seen it for the last time, there it is again. And, well, he doesn't really look good. Bucky Cap just doesn't look good. No matter how you slice it, Bucky Cap in 2023 looks awful. And it doesn't help that they've really done nothing with this design other than just give it a new flat paint app. And that's too bad because there's opportunities for separation on Dr. Spectrum's costume. There's not a lot of opportunities for texture, but where all the colors meet, you could have done something to indicate separation between those elements instead of just flat paint apps. And then there's also the little emblem in the middle of his chest that could have been a three-dimensional element, but they just painted that too, and well, it's too bad. I think the most exciting thing about Dr. Spectrum is his accessory because he comes with the power prism, and well, obviously he needs to come with that. If he doesn't come with it, what's really the point anymore? This 2-pack is coming in at $49.99 or $50, and for $50 I would like to see something a little more than what we're getting here, because what we're getting doesn't feel all that exciting. So I would not be surprised if this one goes on clearance sooner rather than later. Are any of these worth getting, guys? Well, it really depends how big of a fan you are of them, because if you're just a casual fan, you might not really be into these because they're not any of the heavy hitters in the Marvel universe. But if you are a Fantastic Four fan, you're probably going to want to get Franklin Richards and Valeria. Or if you're a Guardians of the Galaxy person, you probably want Yondu. And of course, if you're one of those Squadron Supreme people, you're going to want Hyperion and Doctor Spectrum. If I had to pick one myself, I would probably go with Yondu because I feel like his design overall is the most exciting, and I think that his accessories look the coolest out of the bunch. Well, Soulmates, now that we've seen these releases, what Fantastic Four, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Squadron Supreme characters would we like to see next? Well, as far as the Guardians of the Galaxy guys, I think it would be pretty cool to see any of the original members of the Guardians of the Galaxy, such as Charlie 27. That would be really cool. And as far as Fantastic Four characters go, I think it would be awesome to see the Puppet Master, because I'm thinking, and I don't think we've ever seen a Marvel Legend of that character, and boy, he is a classic Fantastic Four character for sure. Well, Soulmates, what do you think of these new Marvel Legends releases? Do you like all of them? Do you like some but not others? Or are none of these really doing it for you for whatever reason? I don't know, guys. Be sure you let me know down in the comments what you think of them, and also let me know what Guardians of the Galaxy, Fantastic Four characters, as well as Squadron Supreme you would like to see next. If you'd like to learn more about the new Marvel Legends Spider-Man Gamerverse action figure, you can watch that video here, Soulmates.